Hey there, meaning seekers and purpose prospectors. Welcome back to the channel where we unravel life's big questions, the side of sass and a dash of genuine curiosity. Today, we're strapping in for a wild ride into the mind of a true titan, Viktor Frankl. And let me tell you, this guy makes even the most hard-boiled Stoic look like they're having a bad day at the beach. Speaking of Stoicism, the Stoics were all about accepting what you can't control, right? Like, oh, my latte spilled? Well, the universe clearly had other plans for this caffeine. Very zen. Very unspilled. But Frankl was like, my entire world just got turned upside down, everything I knew is gone, and I'm literally staring death in the face. So, how am I going to find meaning here? And can I still make a terrible pun about it? Okay, maybe not the pun part, but you get the gist. This isn't your grandma's self-help book. This is the ultimate guide to finding your footing when the ground beneath you feels like quicksand. So, grab your philosophical thinking caps, or maybe just a really big mug of coffee, because we're about to dive deep into a story that's not just inspirational, it's downright revolutionary. Get ready to discover how one man, facing unimaginable darkness, illuminated a path to meaning for all of us. This isn't just theory, folks. This is life-altering stuff. And stick around to the end, because we've got some super practical tips to get you started on your own meaning-making adventure. You won't want to miss it. Viktor Frankl's life and the power of meaning. All right, let's kick things off by getting to know the man himself, Viktor Frankl. Now, when we talk about finding meaning in suffering, it's not just some abstract philosophical concept for Frankl. Oh no, this guy lived it. And I mean, lived it in the most horrific, soul-crushing way imaginable. Frankl was an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist, a brilliant mind, already developing his ideas about what truly drives us, what makes us tick, long before the world went completely bonkers. He had a thriving practice, a loving family, a life that, by all accounts, was pretty good. Then came the Nazis. Can you even imagine? One day you're discussing the finer points of human psychology. The next, you're stripped of everything. Your freedom, your dignity, your very identity. Frankl, along with his entire family, was sent to concentration camps, including the infamous Auschwitz and Dachau. We're talking about places designed to systematically dehumanize, to break the human spirit. And frankly, pun intended, couldn't resist. That's what happened to millions. But here's the kicker, the truly mind-blowing part of Frankl's story. Amidst the starvation, the brutality, the constant threat of death, he observed something profound. He noticed that even in these unimaginable circumstances, some people, a precious few, managed to hold on to a spark. They found a reason to keep going, a glimmer of purpose. It wasn't about physical strength or even necessarily intelligence. It was something else entirely. He saw individuals sharing their last crust of bread, offering a kind word, secretly helping others, or even just holding on to a memory, a hope for the future. These weren't acts of naive optimism. These were acts of profound defiance. They were acts of meaning. And he realized, with terrifying clarity, that for those who lost their sense of meaning, who gave up on finding any purpose in their suffering, the end usually came swiftly. And that, my friends, is where logotherapy was born. Out of the ashes of absolute despair, a revolutionary idea took root. That even in the face of unavoidable suffering, we have the freedom to choose our attitude. We have the freedom to find meaning. It wasn't about why this was happening to him, but how he would respond, how he would find meaning within it. Think about it. Most psychological theories at the time were all about pleasure, Freud, or power, Adler. Frankl was like, nah, those are cool and all. But what if our deepest drive isn't about feeling good or being in charge? What if it's about finding a reason to feel good, a reason to be in charge of our own narrative? He proposed that the fundamental human drive is what he called the will to meaning. We're not just pleasure-seeking missiles or power-hungry maniacs. We're meaning-making machines. Frankl eventually survived, though tragically, his wife, parents, and brother did not. He emerged from the camps not as a broken man, but as a testament to the indestructible nature of the human spirit. He went on to write Man's Search for Meaning, a book that has sold millions of copies and touched countless lives. It's not just a memoir, it's a manifesto for hope. It's like the ultimate how-to guide for surviving an existential crisis, even when that crisis involves, actual Nazis. His legacy? Massive. He challenged the prevailing psychological currents of his time, reminding us that we're more than just our biology or our past traumas. We are beings capable of transcendence, of finding purpose even in the darkest corners of existence. His ideas have influenced countless therapists, philosophers, and everyday folks just trying to figure out what the heck they're doing here. He basically gave us a mental superpower, the ability to find a silver lining, not just when things are a little cloudy, but when the entire sky has fallen on our heads. And honestly, who doesn't need a little bit of that superpower in this crazy modern world? The core principles of logotherapy. All right, buckle up, meaning mavens. We've seen how Frankl's brutal experiences forged his groundbreaking ideas. Now, let's peel back the layers and really dig into the juicy core principles of logotherapy. This isn't just feel-good fluff. This is robust, battle-tested wisdom. First up, and this is a big one, is what Frankl called the will to meaning. Now, you might have heard of Freud's will to pleasure or Adler's will to power. But Frankl, bless his profound heart, said, "Hold my beer." He argued that our deepest, most fundamental drive isn't about chasing fleeting happiness or dominating others. Nope. It's about finding purpose. It's about discovering a reason to get out of bed in the morning beyond just the promise of coffee. Though, let's be real, coffee helps. Think about it. Have you ever felt that nagging emptiness? That sense that something's missing, even when everything on paper seems fine? Like you've got the perfect job, the perfect partner, the perfect avocado toast. But still, there's that hollow feeling. Frankl would say that's your will to meaning tapping you on the shoulder, saying, "Hey, we need more than just good vibes, pal. We need a reason for the good vibes." It's that intrinsic human longing for significance, for something bigger than ourselves. We're wired for purpose, like a super fancy smartphone wired for Wi-Fi. If you don't connect, you just feel incomplete. Next up, and this is where it gets really interesting, is finding meaning in suffering. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Meaning in suffering? Sounds like I need a stiff drink and a long nap. But hear me out. Frankl wasn't saying suffering is good, or that we should actively seek it out. Absolutely not. He was saying that suffering is an unavoidable part of the human condition. Life throws curveballs, right? Sometimes those curveballs are tiny pebbles. Sometimes they're meteorites. The point is, when those meteorites hit, we have a choice. We can crumble, or we can look for the meaning within the struggle. He famously said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." It's about transforming a personal tragedy into a triumph of the human spirit. It's not about being happy about the suffering, but finding a reason to persevere despite it. Imagine losing your job unexpectedly. It stings, right? It's suffering. But you could wallow, or you could say, okay, this is tough, but maybe this is an opportunity to finally pursue that passion project, or learn a new skill, or reevaluate what truly matters to me. You're not celebrating the job loss, but you're finding a new pathway, a new purpose that emerges from that very difficulty. It's like finding a treasure map where X marks the spot, and X just happens to be smack dab in the middle of a really muddy puddle. You still gotta wade through the mud, but at least you know there's treasure. And finally, a cornerstone of logotherapy, the importance of personal responsibility. This one's huge, folks. Frankl argued that we are always free to choose our attitude towards any given set of circumstances. Even when external circumstances are utterly beyond our control, our inner world, our thoughts, our reactions, our stance, remains our own domain. This isn't about blaming the victim. Let me be super clear on that. It's about empowerment. It's about recognizing that you are the author of your own life story, even when unexpected plot twists jump out from behind the bushes. You're not just a character, you're the lead writer, director, and star. So, if you're stuck in a job you hate, you have the responsibility to either find meaning in that job, maybe by excelling, by helping others, by seeing it as a stepping stone, or by actively seeking a new path. It's not about waiting for happiness to magically appear. It's about taking responsibility for creating the conditions for meaning and happiness in your life. Think of it this way. Life isn't just happening to you. You're actively happening with life. You're co-creating it. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure book, but instead of just turning pages, you're literally writing the next chapter with every choice you make, every attitude you adopt. And that, my friends, is a powerful, liberating, and sometimes, frankly, terrifying concept. But hey, at least you get to decide if the next chapter involves dragons or a well-deserved nap. Your choice. Applying logotherapy in today's world. All right, so we've covered the heavy-hitting theory, the stuff that makes you go, whoa, deep. Now, let's bring it back to earth, to our messy, beautiful, sometimes chaotic modern lives. How does logotherapy actually help us navigate the daily grind, the existential dread, and the sheer volume of cat videos on the internet? Let's find out. First off, finding meaning in your daily life. This isn't about jetting off to climb Mount Everest. Unless that's your jam, then go for it. It's about finding purpose in the seemingly mundane. Frankl said we can find meaning in 3 ways: through creative work, through experiencing something, like nature or art, and through our attitude towards unavoidable suffering. So, your work. Even if it's not your dream job, can you find meaning in it? Maybe it's the meticulous detail you put into a report, knowing it helps someone else. Maybe it's the sense of camaraderie with your colleagues, building something together. Maybe it's simply the financial stability it provides, allowing you to pursue your passions outside of work. It's about shifting your perspective from, another Monday, to, how can I bring a sense of purpose and excellence to this day? It's like turning broccoli into a delicious, meaningful side dish. Okay, maybe not that easy, but you get it. And relationships? Oh, the goldmine of meaning. Connecting with loved ones, supporting friends, even just a kind word to a stranger. These are all profound sources of meaning. When you truly listen to someone, when you show up for them, when you share a laugh or a tear, you're not just passing time. You're building something real, something resonant. It's like being a superhero, but instead of capes, your superpower is genuine connection. And let's be honest, genuine connection is way cooler than flying. though flying would be pretty sweet. And passions? If you have hobbies, interests, things that light you up, lean into them. Whether it's painting miniature dragons, perfecting your sourdough recipe, or volunteering at an animal shelter, these activities aren't just time fillers. They're expressions of your unique self, outlets for creativity, and pathways to a deeper sense of fulfillment. Don't underestimate the power of joyfully pursuing something you love. It's a direct pipeline to meaning. Now, let's tackle the beast, dealing with existential angst and anxiety. In our hyper-connected, comparison-driven world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, lost, like a tiny hamster on a giant, perpetually spinning wheel. We're bombarded with images of perfect lives, constantly told what we should be doing, what we should have. This can lead to a gnawing sense of meaninglessness, a feeling of, is this all there is? Frankl called this an existential vacuum. It's like your soul is trying to vacuum up purpose, but the bag is empty. Logotherapy offers a powerful antidote. Instead of trying to distract ourselves from the void, hello, endless scrolling, it encourages us to confront it directly. It asks us to look within and ask, what am I being called to do? What unique contribution can I make? What values do I want to live by? It's about consciously choosing to fill that vacuum with purpose, rather than letting it suck you dry. It's about asking yourself, what is life asking of me? Instead of, what do I want from life? It's a subtle but profound flip. Suddenly, you're not just a passenger, you're the driver, the navigator, and probably the DJ too. And finally, embracing the challenges of modern life. Let's face it, the world is a lot. It's fast-paced, complex, constantly changing. We're bombarded with information, demands, and opinions. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and powerless. But logotherapy reminds us that even in this crazy landscape, we have agency. We have the freedom to choose our attitude, to find our unique path, to respond meaningfully. Think about the pressure to always be on, to always be productive. Instead of succumbing to burnout, can you find meaning in setting boundaries? In prioritizing your well-being? In consciously choosing to disconnect and reconnect with yourself? Or the constant stream of negative news? Instead of feeling helpless, can you find meaning in advocating for causes you believe in? Or simply by spreading kindness in your immediate circle? It's about being an active participant in your life, not just a passive observer. It's like being in a super intense video game, but realizing you have a cheat code, power of meaning. And that cheat code lets you tackle even the toughest levels with a sense of purpose and a smirk. Practical tools for finding meaning. All right, theory's great, but how do we actually do this meaning-finding thing? Good news, friends. Logotherapy isn't just for deep thinkers. It offers some seriously practical tools you can start using today. Let's get our hands dirty and build some meaning-making muscles. First up, and this one's a classic for a reason, cultivating a sense of gratitude. Now, you might be thinking, oh, gratitude, heard that one before. But Frankl's take on it is subtly different. It's not just about listing things you're thankful for, like your morning coffee, or that surprisingly good parking spot. It's about truly appreciating the small, everyday moments, finding the wonder in them. In the concentration camps, Frankl found moments of meaning in watching a sunset, or seeing a bird, or even just having a few moments of quiet reflection. These tiny sparks of beauty and humanity kept him going. So, in our comparatively cushy lives, can we not do the same? Can you pause for a moment and truly savor the taste of your food? Notice the intricate pattern of leaves on a tree. Appreciate the warmth of a blanket on a chilly evening. It's about actively seeking out the gifts that life is constantly offering, even amidst the chaos. It's like a scavenger hunt, But the treasure is a feeling of deep appreciation and connection. And honestly, it's a lot less muddy than a real scavenger hunt. When you start doing this, you'll find that even the most ordinary day can feel rich with small, meaningful moments. It's like suddenly realizing your life is a hidden gem mine, and you've just been walking past all the sparkly bits. Next, we've got embracing the present moment. This is another one that sounds simple, but can be a real game changer. In our modern world, our minds are constantly bouncing between the past. I shouldn't have said that yesterday. And the future. What if I totally bomb that presentation next week? We spend so much time regretting what was, or worrying about what might be, that we completely miss what is. Frankl would argue that meaning isn't found in a future ideal or a past regret. It's found in the here and now. It's about fully engaging with whatever you're doing, whether it's having a conversation, washing dishes, or simply breathing. When you're truly present, you're open to the possibilities of the moment, to the unique opportunities for meaning that only exist right now. Think about it like this. If you're constantly looking at your phone during a conversation, you're not fully present. You're missing out on the nuances, the shared connection, the potential for a truly meaningful exchange. But when you put the phone down, make eye contact, and truly listen, that's when the magic happens. That's when you find meaning in the simple act of human connection. It's like trying to watch your favorite movie while simultaneously juggling flaming torches. You're gonna miss a lot of the plot points and probably burn your eyebrows. Just focus on the movie. And finally, a big one. Connecting with something bigger than yourself. This doesn't necessarily mean becoming a monk or joining a specific religious group, though for many, spirituality is a profound source of meaning. Frankl was clear that this something bigger could take many forms. It could be through community, volunteering for a cause you believe in, actively participating in a club, helping out your neighbors. When you contribute to something beyond your own immediate needs, you tap into a wellspring of purpose. You realize you're part of a larger tapestry, and your thread, no matter how small it seems, matters. It's like being a tiny gear in a massive, beautiful clock. You might not see the whole picture, but you know your turning is vital. Could be through service, doing something for others, without expectation of reward. This isn't just about charity. It can be as simple as offering a listening ear to a friend, or helping someone carry groceries. These small acts of kindness ripple outwards, creating a sense of connection and purpose, not just for the recipient, but for you as well. It's a win-win, really. You help someone, and your soul gets a little high five. And for some, it is indeed spirituality. Connecting with a higher power, exploring philosophical questions about the universe, or finding solace and inspiration in a spiritual practice. This can provide a framework for understanding your place in the cosmos, a sense of ultimate meaning that transcends everyday struggles. It's like finding your own personal North Star to guide you. The key here is to find what resonates with you, what makes you feel connected, purposeful, and part of something larger than your individual existence. It's not about ticking boxes. It's about listening to that quiet yearning for transcendence within yourself. It's about finding your unique way to plug into the universe's grand network of meaning. And who knows, maybe the universe will send you a funny meme in return. Living a meaningful life. We've explored Frankl's incredible story, the powerful principles of logotherapy, and some practical tools to get us started. Now, let's tie it all together and talk about the ultimate goal: living a truly meaningful life. This isn't some abstract concept anymore. This is about your everyday existence, amplified. First off, and this is crucial, is the importance of self-discovery. Before you can define what a meaningful life looks like for you, you need to know you. What are your core values? What truly makes your heart sing? What are your unique strengths and talents? What gets you fired up enough to actually do something, rather than just scroll endlessly? This isn't always easy. It requires introspection, honesty, and sometimes a little bit of uncomfortable self-reflection. It's like trying to assemble IKEA furniture without the instructions. You might eventually get there, but it's a lot smoother if you know what pieces you're working with. Frankl would argue that our meaning is often unique to us, a something that only we can fulfill. So, spend some time journaling, talking to trusted friends, or simply sitting with your thoughts. What truly matters to you? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of impact do you want to have, even in small ways? For example, maybe you discover that a core value for you is creativity. Then, living meaningfully might involve dedicating time to painting, writing, or even just finding creative solutions to problems at work. Or maybe it's connection, and then prioritizing relationships becomes a key path to meaning. The point is, you get to decide. It's your internal compass, which leads us perfectly to creating your own meaning. This is the ultimate freedom, and frankly, it can be a little terrifying. Because if meaning isn't handed to us on a silver platter, then we have the responsibility to forge it ourselves. But here's the beautiful part. You are the architect of your own purpose. You get to define what matters most to you, not what society, your parents, or that influencer with the perfect avocado toast says should matter. This doesn't mean inventing meaning out of thin air. It means discovering the unique why behind your existence. It means looking at the specific challenges and opportunities in your life and asking, how can I respond to this in a way that aligns with my deepest values? It's like being given a blank canvas and a palette of colors, and realizing you get to paint your masterpiece. No pressure, right? Just the immense, beautiful opportunity to create something uniquely yours. Maybe it's finding meaning in raising your children with love and intention. Maybe it's dedicating yourself to a craft, perfecting your skills, and creating something beautiful. Maybe it's advocating for social justice and fighting for a better world. Or maybe it's simply living with integrity, compassion, and a spirit of joyful curiosity every single day. The what will vary for everyone, but the how, the intentionality, the responsibility, the choice is universal. And finally, embracing a life of purpose. This isn't about reaching some magical destination where all your problems disappear and you're skipping through fields of daisies, radiating pure zen. Living a meaningful life is an ongoing journey, a continuous process of discovery and creation. It's about finding joy and fulfillment, not despite life's inevitable challenges, but often within them. When you live a life infused with purpose, even the tough times feel different. They don't just happen to you. They become opportunities for growth, for resilience, for deepening your understanding of yourself and the world. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, even when things are messy. You're not just existing, you're living with intention, with heart, with a sense of contribution. It's like running a marathon, but instead of just focusing on the finish line, you're appreciating every step, every breath, every surge of effort, knowing that each one contributes to something bigger than just getting to the end. You're not just running, you're experiencing the run, finding meaning in the movement itself. So, go forth, my friends, armed with the wisdom of Viktor Frankl. Ask yourself the big questions. Look for meaning in the small moments. Take responsibility for your choices. Connect with something bigger than yourself. And remember, even when life throws its worst at you, you always have the last human freedom. the freedom to choose your attitude. And that, my friends, is a superpower that no one can ever take away from you. Now go out there and live a life so meaningful, it makes the universe itself go, wow. And that, meaning, magnets, brings us to the end of our deep dive into Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. What an incredible journey, right? I hope this conversation has sparked some new thoughts, nudged some perspectives, and maybe even given you a little existential high five. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please hit that like button. It helps us know what kind of content you want more of. And don't be a stranger. Drop a comment below and let us know what resonated with you most, or share your own thoughts on finding meaning in your life. We love hearing from you. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next adventure into the fascinating world of ideas. Until next time, stay curious, stay courageous, and keep searching for that beautiful, unique meaning that only you can bring to the world. Cheers.